Take time, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Those at the back, there's some seats here at the front. I'd just like us to take some deep breaths, and I invite you, if you want to close your eyes. You know, breath is really important, and throughout the service you'll see me go quiet sometimes, and it's just about taking a breath and acknowledging our space. And so, while we're taking these couple of minutes of silence, it's just an opportunity to let go of all our love and goodbyes that we did and met people and bumped into friends and family. And then settle ourselves and remember why we're here, and see it as a way of just blessing this beautiful space. as we've come together to both celebrate the life and also send him back home, our brother Dennis Douglas. And while you sat just breathing for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to light this candle as another way of blessing the space for us today and asking Spirit to come and be with us and make this place a beautiful, sacred place for our service today. And in your own time, open your eyes and come back to the room. So welcome, family, friends, and community, as we come together this cold morning to celebrate the life of Brother Douglas, Dennis Douglas. My name's Reverend Malika, and I'm not your normal minister. I'm an interfaith minister, which means that I've read 14 different faiths, and I've studied people of no faith. We're like an umbrella of ministers. If you think of the point at the bottom of the umbrella, where all the different faiths lie, there's people there of no faith as well. And the idea is that it's just the one source and it's the one light at the top. And so we just weave into whichever faith we're invited into. And we're also passionate about people. People in general are really important to us. We are truly the bridge between faith and no faith, bringing love to the focus. Whether you have a set belief or not, or believe in the power of people, we're just here to seek to promote your wholeness. Can I ask you to turn off your mobile phones or put them on silent? If you need to answer a call, feel free to leave. If there's any little people or children in the room, I don't mind if they roam the space. Children are our future, and I want them to feel welcome here. From what I know, there's no fire alarms, and if anyone wants to use the toilets, they're just at the back here on the right, on the left-hand side. And please feel free to leave and come back if you want to. There's no pressure on you having to sit in your seat all the time. For those that don't know, Brother Dennis practiced the Black Hebrew Israelite faith, which is deeply rooted in Hebrew scriptures. in the sense of the lineage and covenant of Hebrew Israelites. Coming from the line of Jacob, their belief is firmly grounded in the Old Testament, the Torah, Psalms and Prophets, and in living under God's covenant rather than through modern denominational Christianity. Their Sabbath days are Saturday. They're passionate about racism, the black struggle and reparations. Their focus is on cultural pride and history and spirituality. And they have adopted some Jewish and Christian traditions as well. They have no alignment with the Rastafarian faith. And I'm inviting and I'm asking everyone here today, the same way that we loved Brother Dennis, I'm asking you to just respect and honour his faith that he chose today in this space as well. It doesn't mean that your personal faith will be forgotten. I'm just inviting you to respect the choice that he made throughout his later years in his life. Instead of using the word God today, we will use the word Yahweh, which is the Israelite version of God. And so whenever you hear me say that, you're more than welcome to follow me with the same word as well. And equally, you don't have to. You can just stay as you are. The choice is completely yours. I'm going to start with an open prayer, which is from the Israelites. Anna Bekoch prayer, meaning asking God to use his great power to unite spiritual knots, accept prayers, strengthen and purify and protect his people. Embodying redemption and spiritual connection. We beg you, with the great power of your right hand, unite our bundled sins and fate. Accept your people's song. Alleviate and purify us, O awesome one. Please, special one, those who seek your oneness, guard them like the pupil of an eye. Bless them, purify them, pity them. May your righteousness always reward them. Powerful Holy One, in your abundant goodness, guide your congregation. Holy Master, with your holy seven, lift up your dispersed people, creation. Bless us, sanctify us, have mercy on us. May your righteousness always reward us. Give thanks and praise, Yahweh. Can I invite Sister Pauline to come now and to read the eulogy?
Sisters and brothers with me. Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to this long-awaited laying to rest of our dearly beloved brother, Dennis. Now, this venue might not be the traditional church, but as believers, we know that the scripture says, that whilst buildings serve a practical purpose for gathering and worship, it's not essential for God's presence, because God lives within the hearts of believers and not in buildings. Now, Dennis was born at St. Mary's Hospital in Manchester on the 14th of January in 1962. He was the youngest of 3 children, with Errol and myself, born to parents Mr. and Mrs. Aston and Eleanor Douglas. We first lived on Shrewsbury Street in Old Trafford, where we built many happy memories with our parents. I recall how I used to love going to play in Hullard Park with my little brother. I particularly remember that my dad was a corner of the community and used to hold weekly domino sessions at our house in the 2-roomed cellar full of tables and chairs. Errol was in Jamaica at the time. Although not really allowed, myself and Dennis, where the players would often give us money, a halfpenny, penny, or a threepenny bit, and if on a winning streak, even a sixpence. And I remember mine and Dennis's excitement as we counted our collection to see if it totaled a shilling or maybe even half a crown. I remember our annual trips to Blackpool, Mum, Dad, Errol, Dennis and myself, to see the lights, and us eating corned beef and hard-dough bread sandwiches with our Corona drink in the back of the Zephyr Zodiac, where we played and joked along the way. I have memories of going to the cinema at Brooks Bar with Dennis on Saturday mornings to watch Laurel and Hardy and the Three Stooges and Kung Fu films. And we would come out all kicking and chopping like Bruce Lee. I recall times when my older brother Errol would sneak out when our parents were at work. On one occasion, my dad found out and he chug-locked the front door so Errol couldn't get in. But regardless of the consequences, like a faithful brother, Dennis came to the rescue and opened the back bedroom window so he could climb in. Dennis and I went to Stretford Road School, where Dennis was very popular. He had lots of friends: Errol Thompson, Errol Walters, known as Buckhead, Paul Spencer, also known as Spanner, Cedric, Carl Duncan, Earl Stevens, Trevor Grosser, Gary Thompson, Floyd Dodo, to name a few. God rest the souls of those who have passed away. Dennis was very protective of me in school. I could run up my mouth on anyone, knowing that my little brother would always come to my aid and protect me. It was like having a guardian angel. He was the kind of person who would jump in and fight anybody's battles if you were his friend, and he felt you had a just cause. He soon acquired the reputation of Dennis the Menace, not because he was a menace, but because it rhymed with Dennis, and you just didn't mess with our kid. After Stretford Road Junior School burnt down, he went to Trafford Park School. After that, he went to secondary school at Great Stone, where he thrived and continued to form friendships. However, he didn't stay there long, because after the breakup of our parents' marriage, he left and went to live in Wythenshawe with my father and his other family, Miss Lentine, Diane, Owen, Sonia, Carl and Pat. I cannot give much history of his time in Wythenshawe, but I do know that Dennis went to Newhall Green School and again forged relationships with people like Derek Johnson, Darren Anderson, Bernard, Wendy, Sean, Joey Nevins, Paul Leader, Alfonso Buller, and a lot of others. He would regularly come to Old Trafford at weekends, though, to see Mum and to collect his Kellogg's cereal from her. He often brought Pat, who he also took to the cinema, where they loved to watch Joe 90. There was a time when Pat complained to Dennis about a girl bullying her at school. He said, "Right, let's go and sort her out." Pat thought that Dennis was going to go and deal with her, but instead, being the gentleman he was and not wanting to confront a girl, he hid behind a tree and told Pat, "Now you go and sort her out," giving her confidence to fight her own battles, but letting her know that he was right there to protect her if needed. Our mother remarried and had our 3 sisters, Abigail, Andrea and Samantha. After finishing school, my mother supported Dennis to go to what's now known as Manchester Metropolitan University, where he acquired his qualifications in youth services, and he went on to secure a very responsible position with Manchester City Council, where he thoroughly enjoyed working with children. He dedicated over 25 years to youth services and giving back to the community. He often took children from Wythenshawe youth clubs out on trips and arranged different workshops, and sometimes involved Abigail and myself in presentations. He was so proud to showcase his family. Dennis would love to go out chasing girls with his mates, including Errol Walters, but they said Dennis always got the girls because he dressed well, could dance and was charming and looked like Denzel Washington. Thanks to Monica, Dennis had his first of 3 sons, Akeem, born in 1980. He was constant in Dennis's life, although they did have their differences at times. Due to Dennis's youth work, he had a free membership at Wythenshawe Forum Gym, and he and Akim would often spend sessions training together. They also worked alongside each other over many years on Dennis's various projects. On Akim's 25th birthday, Dennis gave him and his friends exclusive use of the club bar bass. Later on, Dennis grew closer to Akim in supporting him through the grief of losing his mother. Thanks to Debbie and Joe, Reese was born in 1994 and Samuel born in 2008. Dennis was a responsible, proactive father, and when they were young, he often would bring them to Mum's house for Sunday dinner and sometimes took them on holidays and outings. He also tried to instill his work ethic and drive into his sons, trying a patty business with Reese and a candy floss store with Samuel. He bought his house within walking distance of our mother's home. He could turn his hand to anything. He took pride in his house and garden and did a lot of the renovations himself. He kept his house meticulously organized and full of artifacts from his travels, especially Cuba that he loved. Apart from others, myself and Dennis traveled around the Bahamas to Cuba, Turkey, Greece, Cyprus, and Jamaica. Aside from his day job with Manchester City Council, he also kept himself busy and often did secondary jobs like the youth clubs, security on the doors, and at football grounds, buying and selling cars, car boot sales. Dennis was an intelligent, caring and considerate man who was highly respected. He was very business-minded an entrepreneur and full of ambition. He loved jazz music and the saxophone and his motorbike. He was family orientated and always attended family sessions. He gave away one of my sisters at her wedding in Jamaica and gave away my daughter at her wedding in Hampshire. He was like another father to my children, and I thank him dearly for all the love and support he gave them, especially David. He always said to me, "Pauline, if anything happened to you, I would take care of him." He would have weekends where he'd invite all his nephews to sleepovers at his house. They would go out on trips and play video games and order takeaways in the evenings. They all loved going to stay with Uncle Dennis. He was really good with children and always made an effort to do some sort of activity with them. He hated them being on devices or just watching TV all day. He would take them out on walks and adventures and make up crazy stories along the way. Mum could always call on him to help with any DIY issues, or he knew someone who could help. He restored a massive doll's house for my niece Kyra and added a lift and lights. It was absolutely amazing, and she loved it. He would take my sister Samantha to car boot sales. They would stay up late pricing up items, then leave at the crack of dawn. On a Sunday, he would take her to Bolton, where he used to love doing the door work and always had lots of funny stories to tell her, especially about the ladies. Definitely a man about town. He would go to a place called Bar Base. Everyone knew him, and he talked to everyone. He was so popular, and Samantha thought it was so cool to hang out with her big brother. Then he opened Bar Base, a dream he had managed to achieve. He would chat to all the customers, serve behind the bar, clean up if needed, and get really involved in everything. He was so hard-working. He would be so well-dressed and always look forward to his Ted Baker shirts from my sister on his birthday. So many stories we could tell about our brother Dennis. On one occasion, there was a girl making threats to Abigail. Dennis approached her parents and addressed their daughter's behaviour. He was very protective of his sisters and very good at diffusing and handling those situations. We could always rely on support from Dennis when we were pursuing our goals. When our sister Andrea applied for a postgraduate master's degree at Lancaster University and was feeling extremely nervous about the interview, he immediately offered to drive her there and cleared his diary for the day to make the journey. Along the way, they practiced the presentation and he gave her helpful advice, kept her focused and helped her calm her nerves. During the two-part interview, he patiently waited for hours, and on the drive home, they chatted and stopped for food, just the two of them, full of good vibes and love. There were many other drives together, often stopping in Charlton Village for a lager and lime in the sun. My older brother Errol was the founder of Dougie's Caribbean Takeaway on Moss Lane West. It was around this time that another sister on our father's side came over from Jamaica. Her name was Thelma. Many of you might know her as Parpy, and she helped in the shop. When Errol retired, it was taken over by both Dennis and myself, and we worked well together. At different points, it was owned individually. Dennis then started traveling to Cuba in the early 2000s, a country he fell in love with and where he felt at home. He even started a Dougie's takeaway there. He met Yanesi and eventually got married in 2009 in Havana, Cuba. My son Andrew went to Cuba with him on 2 occasions, but thinking he was going to have a laid-back, relaxing holiday full of fiestas and siestas. Instead, Dennis had him up at the crack of dawn, walking for hours in the hot sun amongst historical sites and ruins. It was there his interest in Black history began, and he developed an interest in collecting historical artifacts and showed an interest in religion. With his work ethic and drive, Dennis continued to expand the business to Dougie's Uptown in Charlton, and also a huge van for outside catering functions. It was around this phase that Amy came into his life. He put 100% into everything he did. He also, I must add, had one granddaughter, Clarice. Dennis loved spending quality time with his family. He would take Mum out on weekly on a Tuesday. They went to a museum in Liverpool, they went to Blackpool, they had scenic drives in the country, talking for hours and stopping off for lunch. This was every week. He dedicated this time to our mother. During COVID, Dennis found his more creative side. During this time, he was also very proactive in helping others and neighbours and people generally in the community. During this time of COVID, when he found his creative side, he would do all sorts of things. He would use pallets to make garden furniture. He took on a vehicle restoration project. He became part of a religious fellowship, as you heard, got baptized, found a love for dogs and dog training, and became an owner of 2. It was after COVID and lockdown that some of us here may have noticed a change in his character, behaviour and comments, which might have alienated some, but I urge you to focus on his whole life and the good that he did and the period that you knew him. I trust I have given an accurate reflection of our brother. Many of you will have your own individual experiences because he touched so many people's lives. He would help anybody and even personally assisted in the rehabilitation of several people that he took into his home, which requires a lot of effort, time, and trust and commitment. And this shows how much he cared. He was a real people person. The world would be much better, a better place, if we had more people with such qualities. My sister Andrea wrote something I would like to share with you all. Because as the scriptures say, we must be our brother's keeper. This is from my sister Andrea. Just over 2 months ago, I'm losing my brother, Dennis. The pain is still real. The love is still real, and the message remains important. He was deeply loved. He was cherished, and through everything, even when misunderstood, even when he pushed us away, even when it hurt, we loved him. We advocated for him, and we always had his best interests at heart. Please check on your loved ones, truly, gently, and honestly. Don't assume someone is okay because they look okay and say they are okay. To anyone supporting someone struggling, please don't give up on them. And to anyone struggling, you are not weak. You are not a burden and not alone. You are loved. And your life matters to our men, especially black men. We must break the silence and the stigma. It is okay not to be okay. Asking for help is courage. It can save a life. We honor Dennis. We remember him with love. And we pray for compassion, healing, and understanding for every heart. May we love better. May we listen better. May we never be afraid to speak up. Speak up and not man up. My brother believed in Yeshua. Some call him Jesus. He believed in Yeshua as his personal savior. We trust in the mercy and compassion of Yahweh, some say God, knowing that nothing, not even death, can separate us from the love of God through the Messiah, Yeshua. God understands human pain and weakness, and he is near to the brokenhearted. We place my brother in his loving and mercy, in the loving and merciful hands of Yahweh, and trust that his soul has gone on to rest in perfect peace and will rise in glory. Can you play my tribute to my brother, please?
If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you're trying to be the change you want to see, if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you. I've heard that the streets are made of gold, place up there for people like you. I know you're out there, so keep doing what you do. 'Cause there's a place up there for people like you. What of many people we are.
One, two. I just have one poem here that I'd like to read on behalf of my mother. I wasn't there to say goodbye, to reminisce of times gone by. I wasn't there to make you smile, to tell you old stories and laugh a while. I wasn't there to talk of fun, the happy times in life's long run. I wasn't there to share the years, those times of happiness and tears. I wasn't there to hear your fear or leaving those you held so dear. I wasn't there to feel your pain. You knew we'd never meet again. I wasn't there to hold your hand when you parted from this land. I wasn't there to share our love before you joined the stars above. I wasn't there, I shed a tear. In my heart, you're always there. Thank you.
Before we call Reese up, I'd just like to thank Sister Pauline for setting the seed of talking about our loved ones when they're mentally struggling, because it's such a huge and sensitive subject, and I'm hoping that as well as we're going to be here today to celebrate Brother Dennis's life and to send him back home, I'm hoping that people who you know who are struggling, including people in this room today, it will have an effect on you and that you'll be able to make some different choices after today, because it is really, really crucial. And I'm talking from personal experience because I come from a very long line of mental health relatives. So I'm not just saying professionally and backing what Sister Pauline's mentioned, but I'm also talking from a personal perspective too. So thank you, Sister Pauline, because it's really key. Can I invite Reese, Brother Dennis's son, to come and give your tribute now? Thank you.
Hello. I just want to say that, first of all, that was a beautiful eulogy from Pauline, so thank you. Some of you may be wondering why we're here today at Bowlers Exhibition Centre and not in a church. Well, I asked my dad the same question once. I said, "Dad, you're a man of faith. Why don't you go to church?" Looked at me and said, "I don't worship sticks or stones. I've got 2 temples. That's enough." I said, "What do you mean you've got 2 temples?" He smiled and he said, "2 temples, duh." Other side of your head. That was my dad, a man who carried his faith in his mind and certainly in his heart, not in a building. So it feels right that we're here today, in a space without walls defining what we should believe, just us gathered today together to honour him. And Pauline was so right. My dad was a grafter. Started Dougie's, inspired by Grandma Helen's cooking, and I don't know if you ever tried her home cooking. Boy, I've never had Caribbean food like it. They later moved to Greater Western Street, taking over the old Advino's patty shop premises, where I helped to make the patties. And Dougie's uptown in Chorlton, right next to the library. And as Pauline touched on, there was a food van business, and a business in Cuba, and a bar in Bolton. By day, he had been a youth worker for the council, and also worked at Dougie's, and by night, yes, he was at Bar Base in Bolton. And he didn't just own it, he also was a bouncer of his own club, alongside his best friend Tosh. Where's Tosh? It's nice to see you again, Tosh. Rio Ferdinand, Dwight York, Andy Cole, they were all customers at Dougie's. But that shop was never about celebrities. It was community. There was a 14-year-old called Patrick who used to swagger into that shop with his hood up demanding food, never saying please or thank you. One day my dad asked him, "Why the hood up? Is there a hole in our roof?" Then he said, "Why should I serve someone who never says please or thank you?" Patrick opened up to my dad. He admitted he was ashamed he couldn't spell, ashamed to go to school. My dad didn't lecture him. He pointed him to the library computers with free spell check, connected him with a local youth club. Patrick's attendance went from 0 to 35% in 3 months. Dad gave him a signed Dwight York football as a prize. It hung up in the shop for years. I'm sure many of you remember the celebrity board in Dougie's. And there was another young man, 25, a father of 3, who had to leap from a flat window to escape a rival gang. My dad used his contacts to relocate him out of Moss Side entirely. That man went on to doing a full-time paid youth work job in Wythenshawe. When asked by a journalist, my dad once said, "Yes, I work in Dougie's, but I'm certainly more than a chicken fryer." Dougie's sat right across from the Gooch Close and Doddington Close estates. 5 murders in that area, the year The Guardian wrote about it. But Dougie's was neutral ground. Gooch, Doddington, Longside, Salford, they all came through and they left their troubles at the door. Nobody ever taxed Dougie's. The Douglas name commanded respect. And to my Grandma Helen, she wasn't just my grandma. She was everyone's grandma. And this goes for later in life with the same thing with my dad and his dogs. And as we have all seen, a man of change. In his last days, yes, he had his Chorlton bullies. And they did look like bullies. Big, intimidating dogs. Enough to scare the living hell out of anybody. But in fact, he used those dogs as a beacon. He would let people walk them, feed them. People who were scared of dogs would overcome their fear, and in doing so, they would open up to him. He did this with the homeless especially. He'd tell them to stand up, and he'd feed them. He'd give them hope when they felt nobody in the world cared. Those dogs were his beacon and another way to reach people who needed reaching. Now I want to talk about my dad as a father. He sent me to St. Bede's private preparatory school, which is an example of how much he wanted the best for me. Though I'm not too sure he was impressed when he got called out of work to be told his son was playing too hard in the playground, or the fact that he couldn't control a 7-year-old. Little did he know what a wind-up merchant I was, probably why I ended up in Waterloo Road. I was well equipped and highly experienced. Every weekend, I'd see him once a week, mainly. And I'd clean his house, and I'd clean his car. Then we'd go to Grandma Helen's for Sunday dinner. And afterwards, he'd promised to take me to Manley Park in Chorlton with my mini cross motorbike, this little bike. And boy, did I love the thrill of that. I used to rip up Manley Park on that bike. But sometimes after all that, the cleaning, the dinner, the promises, he'd fall asleep. Because that man was exhausted. He never stopped working. And as a child, I'll be honest, wasn't my idea of an ideal weekend. Because cleaning somebody's house and car every weekend wasn't my idea of fun. And if I didn't hear him, and I didn't listen to him, boy would I feel it. And some of you will know what I mean when I say, let's call it Caribbean tradition. Whoosh. Looking back now, I see it so differently. He worked himself to the bone so I could have opportunities. He fell asleep at Grand's because he'd given everything he had. His love was always there for me. Always. Me and my dad didn't speak for a long time. It wasn't until September 2024 that we truly reconnected. I had what I can only describe as a spiritual awakening. And a voice in my head, one day, clear as day, asked me to move to my grandma's. I've got a very personal journal that I used to write in every month. And one month, one night, I didn't write in it. I felt guilty. I put it on my bedroom windowsill, didn't put it on properly, and it fell off, and it hit me on my foot. The next day, my dad decided to call me, and we had a 2-hour phone call. I was ranting. I was angry about the years we'd lost. And why was he only talking to me now about God, Yahweh? Why hadn't we had a real relationship for all of those years? And then out of nowhere, he said, "How was that book that fell on your foot? Did it hurt?" I hadn't told him. I was at my grandma's. He knew, or some may say, he was informed. Just like when I was told to move to my grandma's, and then shortly after, with my second home now in Costa Rica. That was the moment I understood something bigger was at play here. Something connecting us. Our relationship changed forever from that day. And that is when my dad introduced me to become a Hebrew Israelite. After that call, my dad took me to Scotland in December 2024. Not as a trip away, and not by chance. He took me there because it mattered. We went to Douglas in Scotland. Our name, our land, a lineage, and a house that has carried that name for centuries. Myself and his ex-partner Amy, we walked together through old burial grounds and historical sites where Douglas was carved into stone. Not as a memory, but as a record. This was not something adopted later in life. It was something that had been deeply preserved. Everywhere we went, the same symbol appeared. The lion, rampant, crowned, upright, and unbroken. In scripture, the lion is not just an image. It's a sign of Judah, the royal tribe, the bearer of kingship and covenant. The Lion of Judah. My dad taught me that the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered. They did not disappear. They migrated. Their names changed. Their borders shifted. But their lineage, authorities and symbols endured. What the world later called Scottish heraldry, he understood as something far older. identity carried forward through exile and time. Douglas was not just a surname to him, it was evidence, a name tied to land, rulership and continuity, a witness that lineage does not vanish when nations fall. It moves, it adapts, and it survives. This is why he referred to the Lion of Judah, a Jacobite from the lineage of Jacob. In his book, he referred to as the basic information before leaving earth. And for anybody that's not read it, it's also known as the Bible. It's a great read, honestly. I'd give it a five-star review from myself. But this wasn't just about being sentimental, but intentional. A reminder that inheritance is not about pride, but responsibility. That identity comes from the Most High, not from institutions, history books, buildings, or churches. Finding and practicing faith through my dad filled me with an abundance of love for him. It made us realise who we truly are, how special the world is, and the grace of God's creation. He didn't take me to Scotland to tell me who I was becoming. He took me there to show me who we already are, and who we are accountable to. Through his Hebrew Israelite teachings, my dad gave me the 7 keys: wisdom, understanding, knowledge, counsel, righteousness, might, and the fear of the Creator. He taught me about the Sabbath, about the tribe of Judah, about identity and inheritance. But I don't just stand here today to talk just about faith. It's the small things I remember that I never felt from my dad as a child. We had so many movie nights when I was in Costa Rica. Video calls at all hours, although I was 7 hours behind. We belly laughed in ways I had never laughed with my father in all of my years as a child. And we can all sit here today and say some of the links and videos he would send constantly were very questionable. But just like anything in life, it's down to each of us to eat the chicken and spit the bones out. And those are his words, not mine. He sent me a message once that said, "You shine light. I love to see you elevating, son." In his last days, we sat on the settee, and for the first time, when our eyes began to see, and we could hear what he felt, many could not. What I told him. On September the 14th, 2025, I sent my dad a message. I told him I was so proud of him. From taking back everything that I felt against my father in the early years, but really reflecting on the council work, the youth clubs, the food business, for being wise, hard-working, and the man he has become. I wrote, "The world is yet to see what our love is, and despite our past, what is yet to come." I told him I truly now know what love is, because since having you back in my life, I know my heart is now filled. I love you so much. I said you would never walk alone, Dad. Little did I know he would choose to move on to the next phase, and it would now be me, in fact, stood here with him looking down on me. But by God's grace, I'm so grateful as I was able to share this newly found relationship with my dad. And although he's no longer here in flesh, I have never felt his presence so strong in my conscience and spirit. I remember a man who was so strong-minded, who never gave up on anyone, a man who was hard-working, from Moss Lane West to Great Western, to Chorlton, to Bolton, to Cuba, a man who created a sacred space where enemies could stand together, where young people found hope, and where the homeless found dignity. He said he was more than a chicken fryer, and boy was he. He was a youth worker, a business owner, a bouncer, a father, a teacher, a man of faith, a grafter, a Douglas, and a man of God. But throughout all, he was my dad. God bless you, Dad.
I often say that, you know, eulogies are really powerful, and it's sad sometimes because it's like we only really get to know somebody when they've passed, unless they've had the opportunity to write a biography or do their life story. But it always makes me want to say to the congregation, what will people say about you when you're gone? And if you woke up today, you can still make a difference and allow your people to say some amazing things about you when your time comes for you to go through those pearly gates. I'd like us to sing our song, one of our songs, if that's okay. Yeah? Is that better? Apologies for those that didn't hear. The words are in your booklet, and for those who can stand, I'm inviting you to join us and sing our first song. This little light of mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. The light that shines is the light of love, lights the darkness from above. It shines on me and it shines on you, shows what the power of love can do. Shine my light both far and near, shine my light both bright and clear. And where there's a dark corner in this land, I'm gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Monday gave me the gift of love, Tuesday peace came from above, Wednesday told me to have more faith, Thursday gave me a little more grace, Friday told me to watch and pray, Saturday told me what to say, Sunday gave me the power divine to let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, shine, let it 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 shine, let it
Just checking. We've now got some more family tributes which I'm going to read. The first one is from Dennis's stepmom. To my dearest Dennis, please know that from the moment I met you, I loved you unconditionally. I am writing this because my heart is overflowing with love for you. A love that will never change, though you are no longer here. I miss you more than words can ever say. You always had manners with me, no matter what. I will carry with me the conversation we had the week you left. It is a memory that I will keep in my heart forever. I know that God will look after you for me now. Love you to infinity. Lentine. This is from Diane and Owen and Carl. Dennis, our dearest brother, you may no longer be with us in person, but you will always be in our hearts. As a family, we miss you more than words could ever express. And we will love you and honour your memory always. We think of the time that made our home growing up so special, like how we used to love it when Dad would bring some fish, chips and curry on a Thursday night. I like fish and chips and curry as well. And Mum would bring Kipling cakes. Or how you and Carl would sleep at one end of the bed, leaving Owen with the short straw. With you and Carl's toes right in his face. Oh, and not to forget our favourite breakfasts. Jam on toast with boiled eggs. Not a favourite of mine. Those moments were simple, but they were filled with love, laughter and togetherness. We are so grateful to have had you as our brother. You will always be part of us, today and always. Regards, Diane, Owen and Carl. I'm going to now read Psalm 23, and I'm going to invite those who would like to read a sentence after me. And if you don't want to, that's fine as well. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod, and thy staff, thy comfort me. Thou prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anoint me my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Give thanks and praise, Yahweh. We've now got an opportunity for members of the congregation to come up and pay any tributes that you would like to share. Thank you. There's a mic here.
Shalom, brethren. My name is Cleona Israel, and I remember one occasion. I think it was the first occasion, actually, that I met Douglas. I came into his shop nearest to Charlton Library. We entered into a conversation, and it was so deep that it's brought me here today. This was a man that I could tell was really seeking the Most High. And in this time of awakening of the Most High Elohim Yahuwah is awakening his true children of Israel, which are we, those that were stolen out of Africa and scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. We are the chosen children of the Most High. The realization of our true lineage can be very disturbing because we have to unlearn the lies that we have been fed as truths. And in changing from the beliefs that were thrust upon us, it can bring about so much unease in our spirits. We have to become set apart to embrace the way of the Most High God. We have to divorce and separate ourselves from the ways of the world, and this in itself can become very turbulent mentally, so stressful, so painful, so upsetting, and not many of us are willing to walk this hard road, this narrow path. The enemy is always in wait for us. And if we are not anchored in prayer, repenting of our sins and those of our forefathers that have caused us to live under the lies that we have had to live under in these various parts of the world we have been scattered to. Trials and tribulations will befall us. Spiritual attack upon our bed. We go through all manner of strain and pain, and because we assume an identity of pride, we will walk around looking like nothing is bothering us, though the whole world is upon our shoulders. I urge you, my brothers and sisters, if you didn't know who you are, I pray that you know who you are today, and that you will repent of your sins and follow the commandments of the Most High God. It is not an easy road, but it's the best one to walk. For we walk in the shadow of the Most High. He will surround us and protect us, no matter what the enemy would try to say. Sleep well, my dear brother. I will always remember that conversation that you and I had. And I give you thanks and praises, Holy Father Yah, that you made it possible for me to be here today. All praise to the Most High Elohim, Yahuwah, in the name of his one and only begotten Son, Yahusha, our Savior. Praise God.
Give thanks and praise, Yah. Yeah. Can I invite Amy to come and say some words to give a tribute? Thank you.
Hello everyone. So, I'm not the best at talking, that was more Dennis's forte. If anybody knew Dennis, you knew that he loved to talk. He had so much to talk about, he had so much knowledge, wisdom, his experience to share, things that were passed down from his father to him. But a lot of you are probably wondering who I am. So me and Dennis were together for about 9 years. We met in 2015, so I haven't got a speech in front of me, I just want to talk about my experience with him, what I saw, what he shared with me. But 9 years together, it's the deepest I've ever known anybody and the deepest anybody's ever known me. My constant I had was my brother and sister, both younger than me, but I've not had anybody in my life that knew me the way Dennis did, and I've not had anybody in my life that I've known the way I knew Dennis. So this is going to be really cringy because Dennis would have cringed over this. So we met at a butcher's, he used to come and buy his meat. He used to bring over dinners for me and stuff. We started talking and then it went from like dating, seeing each other. So his routine was work all day and then he'd pick me up in the evening, like after he's finished work. He'd come home, count all his money up, clean, wash up, so like my dad wouldn't even get himself a glass of water if he needed a glass of water. Like I wasn't used to watching men do things, but I was just used to be there like shocked staring at him like cleaning up and he's like, what are you looking at, kind of thing. But so that time, like until I started working at Dougie's, I just spent getting to know Dennis, him sharing his life with me, his childhood. A lot of people didn't probably know that he used to have an action man. He used to ask his dad, like, can you buy me clothes for my action man? And you know, like, that wasn't going to happen. Even my dad wouldn't do that and he was a bit more modern. So he used to sew the action man's clothes. I had Barbies, like I didn't sew, I wasn't good at sewing, but he sewed the clothes for them. And then he used to like make parachutes for them, throw them out the window to see what would work. And then he used to run down, go back up and do the same thing over and over again. But he also told me, like from the age of 4, like he said that his parents got divorced. From the start his dad was like, he's coming with me. And I understand that, men like boys being with the men, like women like girls being with the women. But so he used to tell me all about his stories, how his dad was like standing up for him in school and all those things, how he taught him how to dance. And he was a little bit lonely because his dad used to be at work. Errol was like in the army to that point, I think. But so he just used to keep himself entertained and stuff. And then Pauline already mentioned about the basement, the cellar, and the dominoes. So that's how Dennis got into business. So they used to have the dominoes and stuff. Dennis used to help set it up and everything. And then it used to be an all-night thing. And then Dennis used to come in the morning, make cups of tea and stuff for them. And his dad used to be like, make sure you get your change. And that's how Dennis started making his money, got into the business mind. And then he'd ask me, like, I don't know the work and stuff, like, he was okay, like, when I said, oh, I'm going into nursing and stuff, because he didn't want to have to explain, like, she works at butchers. But, so he asked me a few times, like, to work for him at Dougie's, like, because he trusted me, he knew, like, I'd be good at it. And then, so, after a few times he asked me, I had said yes. At first I wasn't, because I wasn't sure what it would be like working for him, how that would change things between us. So, eventually, like, I did, and then that's when I really got to know Dennis, and that's when I like I just fell in love with the man he was. Like, I saw what a good man he was, how much he helped people, how much he did for the community, how much he did for children, like that were in school that wanted to do something with their lives. You saw the pictures of the children at the shops. He was just putting everyone first, always. And then being with him, I saw that he would always be there for everybody, but not everyone was always there for him. Everybody could call on Dennis for anything, for any help, and he'd be like, you never call me, why are you calling me now? And then he'd be annoyed and stuff, but he'd still always help. He did not have the same, he didn't. And I'm not going into verses and stuff, but I know like everybody's heard the saying, blood is thicker than water, and that's not how it goes. It's the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the room. That's all I have to say about that. So anyway, that's how like I got to know more like about Dennis, and then he used to always like be really proud of like Dougie's, his shop, and like in Great Western, nobody tagged his shop, nobody had fights in his shop, Gooch and all that used to come in, like everybody had so much respect for him because he was a community man. And there's just so many stories, but so it kind of like led up to like us working together and stuff, and then led up to COVID, shop closing, and then that's when Dennis started coming into his faith. So I was more like, so when Dennis started going into the Bible, like before he started off with Ancient Aliens, because Dennis was always like, there's got to be something more. Like he had time to sit down and think, he wasn't just 24/7 working. And so he's like, what is life all about? And then that's when he started getting into like first it was Ancient Aliens, I got so sick and tired of that. And then eventually it went to God, and then I was like watching, like listening to the videos he used to watch. And then I was like, oh, okay, there's a God. So I'm like, okay, let me go study my own God, like seek religion and stuff. And then but he'd always have his videos on, and I'll be like, well, if there is only one God, surely it's that God of the Bible. And that's how I came into my faith. But that's like how the sister Israel was saying about Hebrew Israelites. That's how where Dennis's journey took him. Found out about his people, found out why things were happening to his people that were happening. Why did they go through the things that they did more than anybody else in the world? Why did they go through the slavery? Why were they scattered across the world? And the Bible also says it, if you read it, it says who the true people are and stuff, and then that's what Dennis believed. But because he believed, before he even believed in God, he was already a good man, because of how hard he worked and how honest he was, and he earned money honestly. I feel like God, that's why God blessed him all the time, and I always felt like God was always with him, no matter what Dennis went through. He told me about the accidents he'd had, when he was younger, riding his motorbikes, his cars, where one time he was underneath a truck, and he was he could hear somebody saying, no, it's going to catch on fire, don't go and try and save him, but the guy went and saved him. There was a time when Dennis was getting rid of stuff in the shop and stuff, so there was a guy that was opening a carry and takeaway, and to help him out, Dennis was going to give him some things. It ended up the guy was complaining about it, and then Dennis was like, okay, do you know what, just bring it back to the shop. So this guy came, Dennis went on his own, and this guy came, and there was people stood around the corner, a few people, and Dennis hold on, what's going on here? And I don't know if they had things on them, this was to basically jump Dennis. And then Lazarus, I don't know if he's here, Lazarus came around the corner. Okay, he's okay, something's going on here. He's gone back home and he's come back. I'm not going into why he would have gone home or anything like that, but Lazarus was there, and the Most High Yah made sure that Lazarus was there at that time when Dennis was there and that was going on, and he would have been jumped. So all through seeing things happen with Dennis and just being with them, I always just it was God is with this man. And so as our journey was continuing in the Most High, we didn't get married officially. We said our vows to God, and that was good enough for me. I didn't care about big marriage and stuff like that. I just loved Dennis, and I just anything the littlest I got from him, that was sometimes enough as well. So we said our vows and that was more for our comfort as well, believing in God, not wanting to have sex before marriage and those kind of things. So just for more for our peace of mind and stuff. And then And because of our journey, like with Hebrew Israelite, and because we'd already been together before we came into the truth, like otherwise, like according to the Bible, like an Israelite man should be with a woman from his own tribe. And then because of that, but because we were already together, we decided to just like stay together because we loved each other. But even then, like I still said to him, I was like, Dennis, I know you're you're supposed to be with a woman of your own tribe, and I knew like a woman, I hate using the word black, but I just knew that a black woman would give him more than I ever could, do things for him more than I ever could, like, I just always felt like that. So I was like to him, like, if you ever like find a woman from your own tribe, like, that you know you want to be with, you want to marry, I would get out of your way. He mistook that and misunderstood it because he was talking to somebody else, like on the phone, and he's like, oh yeah, my wife like said that I could have 2 wives, and I'm like, no, I didn't say that at all. What I meant was, like, if somebody came in your life that you were like, I want to be with this person, I want to marry her, I would move out your way, I'd leave. I wouldn't be there like 2 wives, I couldn't do like, I'd love Dennis, but I wouldn't be able to see him like being affectionate, loving like with another person. I could like see him happy, like even after we broke up, like, so I even like go into that. So like not a lot of people like knew we were together, let alone like in 2024 we had a miscarriage. Things were already like going downwards because other people were getting involved in things, mental health, NHS, police were getting involved. I'm not going to go into that either. So things weren't so great between us, and then the miscarriage, not grieving properly over that. And then even at that time, we didn't have people like get in touch, and that's what hurt Dennis the most. We didn't have people like saying, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that, so sorry you lost your child, Dennis. Like me, I've not had many people in my life anyway, so it didn't really, but it bothered me that how many people weren't there for Dennis. So that kind of like led to like our downfall. There were just so many arguments going on between us. Now, I am not the type to talk back and argue and stuff. I had like an abusive father, abusive ex-husband and that. But with Dennis, like after a while, because I knew he wouldn't hurt me, he wouldn't hit me and stuff. So sometimes I would like talk back, like than I would like have done ever like in my past. And then eventually, the arguing got like too much. Okay, that's fine. But I just want to say that Dennis was such an amazing man. He was so good to people. He was always there to help people. He went out of his way. He'd bring people into his home and that. Dennis was just, nobody could compare to him. He was a man of God and he showed that to people.
Thank you. Can I call up Glenn to come and give his tribute, please?
Afternoon, I'd just like to say this man, as people have already said, would help anybody. Judging by all these people that are here today, showing their respect for Dennis. I met Dennis when we were 18, became friends, still friends, even to this day. And all I can say is that everybody that knew him would understand when this guy spoke, you just had to listen. So, I remember one night when we were working in Bolton, and Dennis used to have a Mercedes, and he came to work in it with the roof down. And Tosh will remember, if he's here still, that Dennis parked his car across the road, and some guys walked past the car, looked at it, picked up some cardboard boxes and threw them in Dennis's car. And me and Dennis were stood there. Now Dennis was a talker, I was a fighter. So we just ran after them, chased them down the road, and Dennis took off his belt and used his belt on one of these guys. I was using my fist, Dennis was using his belt, and this guy was begging for mercy. And as we walked away, laughing to ourselves, he just put the roof up on his car and we just moved it and parked it somewhere else. But this man, he helped me on any occasion that I asked him for help. If he Dennis asked me for something, I was there. If I weren't there that day, I was there the next day. So I'm just sorry that we're all here on this occasion to say goodbye to Dennis, because I know I'm going to miss this guy every day. So that's all I'd like to say.
Thank you. Can I invite Carmen and Mega to come and say their tributes now, please?
Hi everyone. I've said hello to a lot of people already, but a lot of you know me. I met Dennis at Bagley Youth Club. He was my youth worker. He made me believe in myself. He told me I could become a youth worker, which I thought was the best thing. The first night I went, Owen was on the decks, 3 tunes, encore, happy, and I can't think of the third one because my mind's gone blank, but the whole family means so much to us in Wythenshawe growing up in the 80s. It was such a special time and we didn't even know that we had it. We all lived it together. And I always think of Martin Luther King's speech about all the little white boys and girls playing with all the little black boys and girls. That was his dream and we had it. And the community, and you can see it here in this room, it's still there in our hearts. And Dennis will always, always be in my heart, and I can't thank him enough for what he did for me. And condolences and comfort for the family. I really want to give you all a big group hug. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, it's afternoon now. 5 minutes into afternoon. Okay. Dennis Douglas. He was a serious guy, man. He had many facets. He was a multifaceted diamond. As Carmen said, we met him up in the realms of Wythenshawe, a place like Bagley Youth Club, and a place called West Withy. That was his spot. And what a character he was. I was just looking at the board outside and seeing that the brother was born in 1962. He was only 7 years older than me. But for me as a young man, he seemed like a big man for me, like a father figure. That's what he was. And yeah, man, we danced, man. We danced up in Wythenshawe. We had some great times up in there, man. It was a great time in our lives. And I was just happy to meet such a guy. There was a big period in between that and us getting back together later on in his life. But when we did, we did. And first I did a video about my side. Maybe I might have seen it, maybe not seen it, but I was happy to be able to have interviewed him. And his beautiful character was shining in that video. You'll get to see it a bit later on, it'll get screened for you. But it came to me at a time also when he was searching for faith. You know, I became a Muslim a long time ago. I'm not an angel, I'm not a perfect guy either, I'm just a Muslim. Don't hold the religion responsible for what I do and what you see me do. I'm just a man, a simple man like all of y'all. But anyway, he was searching for faith. He was at that time there, you know what I mean? So he brought me up into his house and that. And, you know, he told me to bring the book. And I brought the Holy Quran in there. And we had a look at it. I prayed in his garden. And it was nice. And I know he appreciated it. But he was searching. And he didn't stop there. He went further, you know? I wish I could have stopped him and really gave him some of the real light out of this deen, but I wasn't able. But anyway, I left him to make his own choices, which he would always do anyway. He wasn't a man that would take orders from nobody. He was a leader, a real leader. And he showed me some things also that he did, you know. he was also deep in, you know, the culture and the history of black people from Britain, from the Caribbean to Britain and beyond. He used to go to Cuba a lot. And Cuba was one of the only places that kept the records for slavery. And he was really interested in finding out his roots. As he said, he went to Scotland. You know, Reece said he went to Scotland with him. That's where the Douglas name, or the slave masters came from, should I say. Well, anyway, yeah, so he said to me, you know, he asked me about my name. Cuba was the only place that had the records for slavery. And we was looking about reparations. We still haven't been paid yet. Anybody who came from the Caribbean, there's still some money owed to you from the Windrush people, so don't forget to collect it. The people are collecting. And don't collect small, because we weren't small, we did a lot of work here. I don't want to start getting into too much politics, but real is real, and Dennis was about that. So I'm going to say what he was about. It's his time now. But yeah, he also phoned up the bank in front of me. I can't remember which bank it was, Lloyd's Bank or something that was. And he told them that we've been banking, my family's been banking with you for over 30 years, but I need some questions answered. I don't know if you guys were deep in the slave trade, because I don't think my money should be in your hands if you were. Well, anyway, he made the guy go out and do his research, and the guy came back and confirmed that that bank was deeply involved in the slave trade. I don't know if he made a big withdrawal, but I don't know what came to the end of that. But as I said, he was a man. He didn't leave no stone unturned, and he wanted answers, and he got them. You know, to me, he became a bit of a warrior in that field, you know, and he wasn't letting up. He also asked me for my name and said, I'm going to run it through my contacts in Cuba and see if we can find your slave master and get some dough off him or something. Just give me a minute, please. Don't put me under pressure. I'm going to say what I've got to say, because Dougie wouldn't want me to say it. All right? Anyway, as I said, you know, he was a Malcolm X. He was a Martin Luther King. He was a Frederick Dennis Douglas, if you know who Frederick Douglas was. But yeah, you know, we spent some time in his last last couple of years. Used to walk the bullies on Charlton, and boy, were they some heavy dogs, really heavy dogs. But he was always being hounded by the police. The police wanted to put them down, but the way Dennis treated his dogs were civilized dogs. And I've seen bullies, you know, and bullies are serious dogs. A lot of people feed them raw meat, and raw meat makes them, if they bite a human being, they're going to taste that same blood and want to eat the human being. And that's why they became so savage, and it was to be deemed as dangerous dogs. But Dennis made his dogs civilized dogs, and I've never seen bullies like his bullies. And his bullies didn't eat raw meat. His bullies would eat meat like us, seasoned meat. He cooked the meat for the dogs, so that he had that civilization, you know, they could taste a bit of Dougie seasoning, and also not want to eat human beings when they taste blood. But anyway, the police was always on his case about these dogs, you know, and they loved them dearly. And he also made a video and sent it to me. It was in Charlton Marina, and the two bullies were just so tranquil and just lying down. And he did this as proof also, because there was about 8 ducklings and two ducks, the mothers of the duck and the father of the duck, and 8 ducklings. And they were walking past these bullies, and these bullies didn't bat an eyelid, didn't even look at them in any way. Like, you know, we'd expect them kind of dogs to straight, they will attack birds, but the way Dennis had his dogs, he made them civilized, because that's what it was about, man. Civilization. Please, you pick me up.
Yeah.
If you have to be all day, we're going to talk about Douglas.
No,
all day.
we haven't got the time. Seriously. We haven't got the time, seriously.
Right, so we wanted his bullies to be seen as what they were, you know. His bullies lived a good life. He said to the police that, you know, I've done my business, I've done my bit for the community, I've sold my business, I'm enjoying life now. And them dogs sometimes was chilling in 5-star hotels, they look better than some people on the road. But anyway, as I said, let's get back to Dennis and who he was. I was happy to be able to interview him for a Must-Side video, and he gave, you know, his testimony, you know, about the whole thing with takeaway and how things were running a business in Must-Side in times when the streets were really hot and there was a lot of beef going on. Well, as I said, you know, he was a helper, man. If somebody would help anybody, he done a lot for me. And you're making me lose what I want to say now because you're getting on my nerves. I don't get like this, so let's let me speak.
I'm letting you speak, but there is other people that want to speak as well.
All right, I want to conclude.
We've just got to share it.
I'm going to conclude it for Malika's sake.
Yeah, thank you. And not for my sake, but for the QA relatives and other people that want to share as well.
All right, we got some time.
We haven't.
All right, we ain't got no time.
We haven't, darling. Okay. And I know you've got a big character.
Anyway, I'm just going to send love to my brother, Dennis Douglas, you know what I mean, and give thanks for everything what you've done for me, what you've done for the community, what you've done for everybody who met you, because I'm sure you helped everybody who came across you, you know what I mean. He was a great guy, you know, somebody, you know, he was an asset to our communities, and a serious asset, because he was a man of knowledge, you know, and he wasn't short on no words. Very, very intelligent man. You know, watch the way he addressed the police one time when he came to his house and tried to talk rubbish to him. He sent me the video and he told him, he said, you know, the police officer said, oh, we're a bit concerned about your mental health. He said, well, wait a minute, you're a police officer, aren't you? He said, yes, I'm a police officer. Since when have you been qualified to diagnose people's mental health? He said, there's the gate, close it behind you. Thank you very much. Dennis Douglas, we love you. Respect and manners, tribute.
Mega thank you. And he's an amazing speaker, he's got amazing words, but we do have to give other people a chance as well, yeah? So thank you. Sorry. Bear with me 2 minutes. I'm sorry for the missy-mashy up and downy, but it's all done in good faith. So now I'm going to give a tribute for Christopher, brother Dennis's nephew. When I think about my Uncle Dennis, what stands out most is that he was always there when I needed him. When I was pursuing music as a teenager and young adult, he believed in me long before there was any certainty it would lead to anywhere. He helped me secure funding to set up a recording studio and supported me in getting my music recorded and released. What felt like practical help at the time was really something much deeper, a belief, encouragement, and someone quietly backing me. That belief led to me teaching music in the community, which eventually opened the door to a full-time role with Manchester City Council. Looking back, I don't think any of that was accidental. I believe he was always laying foundations for my future, patiently and intentionally, until I was ready. Even when that role ended through redundancy, his support never wavered. When I started my first business, he was there again, spending hours each weekend helping without hesitation. When he realised it or not, he played a huge role in shaping the person I am today. Sadly, we didn't spend as much time together in recent years, and I never had the chance to properly say thank you. But the gratitude remains and is deeply felt. Thank you. I'm going to now invite Caprice to come and read a poem. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name's Caprice. Dennis was my uncle, and I'm reading a poem on behalf of my mum Patricia for her big brother Dennis. Don't grieve for me, for now I am free. I'm following the path God laid for me. I took his hand when I heard his call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day, to laugh, to love, to work, to play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. I found that peace at the close of the day. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. a friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah yes, these things I too will miss. Be not burdened but with times of sorrow, I wish you the sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full, I savoured much, good friends, good times, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief, don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift up your hearts and share with me, God wanted me now, he set me free. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to introduce Barbara to give a short poem.
Hello everyone. As announced, my name's Barbara and I'm Dennis's cousin. I just have a short poem for you today, but I'm also going to ask you to do something for me when I finish. The poem is The Day You Left Us. The day you left us was heartbreak and sorrow. The day you left us, we saw no tomorrow. The day you left us, we didn't understand. The day you left us, God had you by the hand. The day you left us, your family came together. The day you left us, we remember you forever. And what I'd like you to do for me is, we had the quiet session early on. Now I want us to make some noise. On my count of 3, I'd like you all to say, Dennis, we love and miss you. 1, 2, 3. Dennis, we love and miss you.
I think we've got one last tribute by Alfonso Bulla, and can we try and keep it succinct, because I know you're another big lovely character as well.
Greetings and blessings. You'll have to excuse me. My vocal cords are broke and I've ruptured my throat. First off, we have to go to the head of the pyramid, which is his grandparents first. His grandparents first, and then to his parents. Okay? From his grandparents to his parents, Queen Mother, Queen Father, and his brothers, his sisters, his nieces, his nephews, his cousins, his friends, that are his family, and then his children. Please come up 1 minute, please. Come up. Yeah, come up. Come up. So, hold on. So, yeah, I'll try. I won't be as long as Mega, but there's some things that need to be said, and people in the audience need to hear. When people talk about legends, let's talk about pioneers in our community. Pioneers. These are the proof. His children and then his grandchildren. You brought tears to my eyes. Your father was my brother. Me and my family are Belizeans and all the Caribbean islands around the Caribbean. We're from Central America. Before Windrush, people come here, our people, to build England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Do you get that? Manchester is one of the biggest communities in the country. England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Cornwall, now forget you. First, with the religious people in the area, all religions. We'll start with the Christians. When you say after your prayer, Amen, you are saying Amen Ra. Google the Christians, all the religions, Salam Alaikum, Sashri Kalji, Namaskara, and God bless you all. This king is more than a legend. Look at the turnout. This is a temple, because we're making it a temple right now. We're making this place a temple. And we have to celebrate life, because our ancestors told us how to do it. So if you've got a belief system, or you've got a religion, many, many years ago, there was no divide. It was as one. And the children, our children, your children, all the children, and the ancestors' children, brought it all together. But through the way the world is being run, greed and divide, everybody, apart from us, are against each other. I live in Cornwall. I had Dennis and his missus that came up here as Queen. I was at their house 12 and a half months ago. Me and Dennis was doing some big things. Dougie, me and Dougie went to the World Wide Web. I went to his house, and what I do with the flowers is tradition. I said to my brother, who's here somewhere, I told him about the first Bible that is Ethiopian, the first Christians that are Ethiopian, the first Jewish people that are Ethiopian. And he was having none of it. None of it. Then he looked me in the eyes and he said to me, Buller, you don't know who you are, do you? I said, D, you don't know who you are, do you? He looked me in the eyes and he told me, Dennis was like a professor. All these people have come here. His son said these words with his brother next to him there. Dennis Dougie was more than a pioneer. Legend isn't a word for you all, fucking. Oh, sorry. He's bigger than a legend. He's a pioneer. Look at the love. So, before I go, I want everybody to... No, hold on. Can you be outstanding? Those that can stand up, please. If you can't, sit down. Everybody that can stand up, please. 2 minutes. In the name of the King of Kings, Jaja Rastafari, in this experience, angels do exist, living proof. Can you all put your hands on your heart, please? We have a minute of silence. Silence, please. For this King here, an angel. Put your hand on your heart and have some thoughts. I'm going to end it now with Jah Rastafari, King of Kings, Lord of the Lords, Emperor and ruler of the tribe of Judah and Israel. Whatever your religion, whatever your belief system, thank you all for turning out for the family, especially the children and the grandchildren to come. God bless. 1 minute, please. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm smiling because there's just so many beautiful big characters in our community that have lots to say, and it's just amazing. So I'm going to change the energy a little bit. And we're going to have a little slideshow with a little bit of music. It might be a bit of a comfort break for some of you, or you might want to sit and watch it, and then we'll finish off with the rest of the service. So thank you.
In this world, we all have voices to be heard. Everyone wants a chance to be someone. We all have dreams, we need to dream.
your contribution to the community. You know, we go way back. When we started our days dancing and looking show, you know what I mean? They were some of the best days we had of our life. You know, it's not to take all the credit. The business was started by my mum and brother at first. I was a youth worker, worked in village yard with us, yeah. Couldn't boil a pan of rice. I just used to dance and enjoy myself, and we used to move from one part of the city to the other, seamless, no problem, no trouble, and I still do that today. Yeah. So the concept of Dougie's was carried on by my brother, who then moved to Jamaica. He left me, it's a little small place, he left that for me to take over. It was quite a shocking time because I was a pen pusher, look, hands soft, never done a hard day's dancing feet, and I had to learn a concept, and for me it was like, why do I want to get involved in food? And I know about working with people and youth clubs, and you know what I realised? So much love, so much community work, so much cohesion, so much togetherness comes under one roof, and that's a food shop. How was it, that beautiful community spirit that Dougie's came with, you know what I mean? At that very moment in time, things changed drastically in the Mossad area, and, a community was divided. They grew together, some members had love for each other, even drawing in the conflict. How was it as, a man providing food for Mossad? How did it affect you, and how did you feel about what was happening at the time? I felt really bad about what was going on. Not because it was affecting me personally directly, but it was affecting my community. When I say my community, that's where my life is. That's where I live, that's where I leisure, that's where my friends are. So it's my community, it's our community. And to see that divided over issues, that shouldn't really happen. If it had the right resources was put in, people were treated right, yeah? And let me give you an example, just a quick one. Walk in Charlton, walk down the road, everything the yards you'll see a bin. Just a typical rubbish bin. Go and walk down my side and see how many public bins there are. So where do the people throw the rubbish? On the floor. That's the way they want us to grow up and be. Do you get what I mean? So it's about what you put in is what you get out. We didn't put anything into the community. The community were left to fend for themselves. So some people took choices they had to, because an angry man, a hungry man is an angry man. We all know that. People are growing up, they haven't got the support. Because the parents haven't got the money. They haven't got the support from the schools, because the schools are saying, waste the time, Dougie. You might as well go and do sports, because you wouldn't even get a job in Aldi, mate. So postal discrimination, we had that because of where we live. People won't give us an interview or a job because we had M14, M15, M16. When we had our business was a collective business because it was for everybody. It didn't matter whether you were from Old Trafford, Moss Side, Longside, Salford, Cheetham Mill. If you came to Dougie's in Moss Side, you stood in the queue and you wait your turn and you get your food. And my mum, who's not here today, she's 84, she was the enforcer, because she would say, I don't care if you do me, I'm bloody I don't give a damn. Wait in the queue. Wait in the queue. Carry your rubbish up the road when you get your food. And that's what...
Thank you. I hope Mega's happy, wherever he is. I'm going to just change round the end of the service so I know that we'll get through it. We need to be out of here by 1 o'clock. I'd like us to sing the next song, Amazing Grace, bring a bit of energy into us after watching the slideshow. Thank you.
If you want to sing along, the lyrics are in the book. Because I noticed nobody sang along to this little light of mine, so this is your opportunity to redeem yourself.
If anyone wants to stand, feel free to.
that sing a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we know there's days to sing God's praise. And when we first begun, we've known less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Beautiful, thank you, thank you. You know, when we lose somebody, when one of our loved ones pass away, we often go through a grieving process like a river. You have your ups and you have your downs. And often other traumatised and other grieving experiences and pain attaches itself to that grief. Some people never recover from grief. And then there's something about resentfulness too, and forgiveness, and conflict, and other horrible negative feelings that come with grief, and trauma, and pain, and resentfulness. And I actually teach a forgiveness workshop because I'm really passionate about it. You know, when we hold anger and resentfulness and non-forgiveness, whether it's to our loved ones who have passed or whether it's to ourselves for things that we've hated ourselves for saying or doing, sometimes not doing. And also for resenting others, you know. Who here sometimes find it hard to forgive others? I'm not the only person, so get those hands up. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's who we are as human beings. And it's days like today that brings that resentfulness in. It makes you think of people in your circle who you wish you had a different relationship with, or who you didn't resent, and who you might not want to forgive. Some people leave the world and pass over and never forgive anyone or neither themselves. But it is days like today when we're celebrating our loved ones' lives and when we're sending them back home, that it makes us think and go down that memory lane of who we resent and who we don't want to forgive and who we're holding harbour and ill will. And cultures and society don't really teach us to forgive people or to forgive ourselves or to forgive our loved ones. I believe that when we resent someone and we're not forgiving someone, we're actually pouring poison down our own throat. And so it's days like today when we can look amongst our family and friends, people from our past and people who have passed over, and it allows us to reflect on who we might still be resenting and who we're finding it really hard to forgive. You know, when you forgive someone or forgive yourself, it's not saying that I'm not going to remember and I've got to be best friends with that person. But what we are doing is we're letting ourselves free. And that's a beauty within itself. So I have a really short little mantra that I actually practice quite a lot myself. And I'm inviting every single body in here today to think of someone or yourself who you are holding resentment to. It could even be Brother Dennis for leaving us. It could be yourself. It could be family, friends. It could be conflict in your own family. But I'm inviting you, if you want to look in your own life at someone you're holding a resentment to. And I invite you to repeat this short mantra after me. And if you don't want to, that's okay. I'll still light my candle for you when I go home tonight. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. And I thank you. I want to say it one last time. and to invite you, if you want to repeat it after me, please. If you're ready to forgive yourself, a loved one, or someone in your life, from your past or your present. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. And I thank you. Give thanks and praise, Yahweh. So we're doing pretty good for time, which is good. I'm going to read Psalm 121 and then a closing prayer, and then we'll get ready to vacate the venue. I lift my eyes up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from you, maker of heaven, creator of earth. Oh, how I need you, Lord. You are my only hope. You're my only prayer, so I will wait for you. So come and rescue me. Come and give me life. Give thanks and praise, Yahweh. This closing prayer is actually from the Israelites. O Yahweh is full of compassion, eternal spirit of the universe. Grant perfect rest under the wings of your presence to our loved one who has entered eternity. Master of mercy, let him find refuge forever in the shadow of your wings. And let his soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. The eternal God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace. And let us say, give thanks and praise, Yahweh. So we've come to the end, and don't know about you, but I'm freezing. I am freezing. But I'm glad that you still came out today, and thank you. If you would like to remain seated while we play our final song, and while the pallbearers come and start to organise themselves to carry our brother Dennis Douglas to the car. And then we're going to head to Southern Cemetery for those who are joining us. Those that don't want to join us, you're welcome to stay here. There's soup and there's beverages to keep you going until the family get back. So thank you. Thank you.
All pirates, yes, they rabbi, sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We be forward in this generation, triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. Can't stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs.
As you play some at the front, go down Jan. As you play some at the front, do stop the side. Step aside.
You need a portable electric heater up there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you're trying to be the change you want to see, if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. There's a place up there for people like you. I know you're out there, so keep doing what you do. 'Cause there's a place up there for people like you. Out of many one people we are.
If I ever forget to hold your hand, no, we can feel like forever we've been struggling. Your love is our strength. Together we're resilient. No man can feel a woman's pain. I'll be here with you always. And we have something that's real. We will live forever in this love that we feel. And if I ever forget to hold your hand, I know it can feel like forever we've been struggling. Your love is our strength. Together we're resilient. And there is always a place to lay your head. Never replace this love with anything. Your love is my strength. Together we're resilient. No man can feel a woman's pain. I'll be here with you always. And we have something that's real. It could last forever in this love that we feel. Sometimes your dreams seems like a perception until someone else believes. If I ever forget to hold your hand, always remember it doesn't mean I don't understand. Ooh, your love is our strength. Together we're resilient, and there is always a place to lay your head. Never replace this love with anything. Your love is my strength. Together we're resilient. Resilience.
I can find courage to fight the fight. I know they might try to conquer, I conquer. Guide I by day and watch I by night, Lord. I pray you'll restore your people's sight, yeah. I can find courage to fight the fight. Oh, I say fight the fight. I know they might try to conquer, I conquer, conquer. Guide I by day and watch I by night, Lord. I pray you restore your people's sight, yeah. I might cry for peace and justice. I'd rather to die than to kneel. We see oppressors sitting on their throne, trying to dictate the price of my soul. Whoa, Jackie, find courage to fight the fight. I know they might try to conquer, conquer, to conquer. Guide I by day and watch I by night, Lord. Yeah. I pray you restore your people's sight, yeah. Through soul and conscience, fire burns within. Light inspires change. I won't fall victim. Whoa. Jah give I courage to fight the fight. Who said fight the fight? I know they might try to conquer us, conquer us. Walk I by day and watch I by night. I pray you restore your people's sight, yeah. Nothing got to be firm and strong in this time of hatred and greed. Selfishness at its highest job, and my soul will never be so. Child love stronger than any weapon, bad intention and scheme. Property for death, we've lost love for self and don't know how to proceed. Whoa, Jah give I courage to fight the fight, the fight, the fight, the fight, the fight. I know they might try to conquer, I conquer, set to conquer, I walk I by day and watch I by night. I pray you restore your people's sight, yeah. Oh, conquer, oh, conquer, conquer, don't let them conquer, don't let them conquer, don't let them conquer, conquer. Your love struck me down lightning, no, thunder in my soul, baby. My heart beats for you only. Every word is true, I'm in love with you. Take you as you are, lady. You ain't gotta change for me. Need you from your crown, honey, right down to the sole of your very feet. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. together the storms of life. Won't always be sunshine, baby, we're blends of imperfection. Give me your heart and soul, love me like you've never loved before. Beautiful morning dew, I'll be a shoulder to cry on to. 'Cause my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. Step, stop, speed up, stop it. Stop it up and up, stop it up, baby. You ain't gotta worry about a thing, girl. Heaven every time you let me linger. I know you've been waiting for a king, girl. Oh, wait no more. 'Cause my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. As the years go by, we get older and we experience, we get wiser, and our love burns bright like a fire. Make my soul explode with desire. I go crazy, but your love. Oh, how could I go on? You're my favorite drug. Your love feels warm in the winter. Oh, I've never felt what I feel with you. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby, please. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby. Please don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive. You know I'll forgive. Don't hurt me just because you know I'll forgive.
Some things are just never said, no. Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. Changing lives day and night, but nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right, to the King of all kings, all praise is due. Yesterday I was on a train, a little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you? Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but he never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food and feed the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of your son's preschool. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. And if you ask me, I'm quite fine, being an ordinary person doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, "Sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you?" I said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean of fame I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the wailers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me not cater. Much more than the work is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all deeds done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Words from the lion's mouth.
Say a word of prayer. The Most High Elohim the Bible tells us that when we women are praying to the Most High God, and the Bible puts in honor of the Most High God's Son, Yahusha, who many of you call Jesus, but his name was never Jesus. That is a Greek name that derives from Zeus. So we're supposed to keep the commandments in accordance with the Most High. O Elohim Yahuwah, Almighty Father of creation, we give you thanks for the life of this man. This man, Dennis Floyd Douglas Jack. We give you thanks for the power in which you raised him up to be a man of upstanding worth in this world that has warranted these people coming out today in these numbers, yeah. We ask you to walk with the family, use them for your will, yeah. May your will be done in their lives, Abba Yahuwah. I pray now and forevermore in Yahusha's blessed holy name. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Amen.
In the name of,
Praise
in the name of Selassie, King of Kings, angels to assist in this experience. There's an angel.
Mosside TV for screening. So I'm screening it this morning. Thank you, Mosside TV. And as long as I may live, oh, you're my darling baby. You're the sweet of my love. You're a very special lady. I said you're the one that I always dream of. You're the one. I'll give all that I can give.
Hang a minute, let me, I'm going to start here a minute. So you went to St. Pius, did you? Anybody new from St. Pius? Apparently that's the high school that Dennis went to, St. Pius. And you was in the same class, was you? I went to a place called Juicy High School. It was the #1 school in Manchester, apparently. That and Burley High. Yeah, Burley. Remember Burley High? Remember Leamington for girls? Remember Central High for girls? And does anybody remember a school called Newall Green? I'm a 90s baby. Juicy High. Oh, you gotta come and shake the hand. And it was on Lloyd Street, exactly. So anyway, before I start. So what you was just asking, he said, what kind of range of music are we going to be playing? Real talk, I'm a risky DJ. I'm a modern DJ, risky. So risky that you can ask me for any song, and hopefully I'll pull it out the sky and play it for you. So whatever song you want to hear, you dictate the night, okay? So at the moment, we're just playing nice and mellow, anything goes, all right? So any song that you particularly want to hear, or any good memories that reminds you of my man Dennis, any of the songs that you used to like, you come see me and Mello, and we'll draw it for you, all right? We've got, sorry, but we don't have any Ingo Bell on pudding. Is that what you want? All right. Testing, okay. Right, watch this. Meanwhile, we continue on. We've got any big permission signs in here. Wait, what? Get on camera. got a member of the Douglas family in the house. And now, guess what? Coincidentally, his name is actually Carl Douglas. Carl Douglas. You asked for it. '70s Kung Fu flick. To the Douglas family, especially Carl Douglas.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But if all with expert timing, from funky Chinatown, they were chopping them down.
Here comes a big boss.
John. And he said, here comes the big boss. Let's get it on. We took a bow and made a stand. Started swaying with the hand. Sudden motion made me skip. Now we're into a brand new trip. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they did it with expert timing. Oh, yeah. It was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. Make sure you have expert timing. Kung fu fighting. Fast as lightning.
Small people music. 1978. Apparently, it's just a year that Dennis actually had school. Is that right? I think it should be. Yes, the year 1978. Sweet Thunder. Everybody's singing love songs.
It's all up to you. It's all up to you. I love you.